Hello friends, Namaskar. I am Grijesh Kumar with a new video based on the play Cymbeline, which is written by Shakespeare. This play is as follows. Cymbeline, also known as the tragedy of Cymbeline or Cymbeline, King of Britain, is a play by William Shakespeare set in ancient Britain and based on legends that formed part of the matter of Britain concerning the early Celtic British King Cunovelin. Although it is listed as a tragedy in the first folio, modern critics often classify Cymbeline as a romance or even a comedy like Othello and The Winter's Tale. It deals with the themes of innocence and jealousy, while the precise date of composition remains unknown. The play was certainly produced as early as 1611. Characters are like this. In Britain, Cymbeline, molded on the historical king of Britain, Cunovelin, and father to Imogen, Queen, Cymbeline's second wife and mother to Cloten, Imogen, Cymbeline's daughter by a former queen, later disguised as the page Fidel, Posthumus, Leonatus, Imogen's husband, adopted as an orphan and raised in Cymbeline's family, Cloten, Queen's son by former husband and step brother to Imogen, Belarius, banished lord living under the name Morgan, who abducted King Cymbeline's infant sons in relation for his banishment. Guiderius, Cymbeline's son, kidnapped in childhood by Belarius and raised as his son Polydor. R.V. Regus, Cymbeline's son, kidnapped in childhood by Belarius and raised as his son Cadwal. Pisanio, Paximus, servant loyal to both Posthumus and Imogen. Cornelius, court physician. Helen, lady attending Imogen. Two lords attending Cloten. Two gentlemen. Two captain. Two jailers in Rome. Philario, Posthumus' host in Rome. Iachimo, a Roman lord and friend of Philario. French gentleman, Dutch gentleman, Spanish gentleman. Cassius, Lucius, Roman ambassador and later general. Two Roman senators, Roman tribunes, Roman captain. Philharmonius, soothsayer, apparition, Jupiter, king of gods in Roman mythology. Celsius, Leonatus, Posthumus' father, Posthumus' mother, Posthumus' two brothers. Summary of the play is like this. Cymbeline, the Roman Empire's vassal king of Britain, once had two sons, Guiderius and R.V. Regus, but they were stolen 20 years earlier as infants by an exiled traitor named Belarius. Cymbeline discovers that his only child left, his daughter Imogen, has secretly married her lover Posthumus Leonatus, a member of Cymbeline's court. The lovers have exchanged jewelry as a token, Imogen with a bracelet and Posthumus with a ring. Cymbeline dismisses the marriage and banishes Posthumus, since Imogen, as Cymbeline's only child, must produce a fully royal-blooded heir to succeed to the British throne. In the meanwhile, Cymbeline's queen is conspiring to have Cloten, arrogant son by an earlier marriage, married to Imogen to secure her bloodline. The queen is also plotting to murder both Imogen and Cymbeline, procuring what she believes to be deadly poison from the court doctor. The doctor Cornelius is suspicious and switches the poison for a harmless sleeping poison. The queen passes the poison along to Pisanio, Posthumus and Imogen's loving servant. The latter is led to believe it is a medical drug. No longer able to be with her banished Posthumus, Imogen seduces herself in her chambers away from Cloten's aggressive advances. Iachimo, stealing Imogen's bracelet, act second, is now like this. Illustrating by Louis Reard, designed for an edition of Lamb's Tale, copyright. Posthumus must now live in Italy, where he meets Iachimo, who challenges the pre-deadful Posthumus to a bet that Iachimo can seduce Imogen, who Posthumus has praised for her chastity, and then bring Posthumus proof of Imogen's adultery. If Iachimo wins, he will get Posthumus' token ring. If Posthumus wins, not only must Iachimo pay him but also fight Posthumus in a duel with swords. Iachimo heads to Britain, where he aggressively attempts to seduce the faithful Imogen, who sends him packing. Iachimo then hides in a chest in Imogen's bedchamber, and when the princess falls asleep, emerges to steal Posthumus' bracelet from her. He also takes note of the room as well as the mole on Imogen's party naked body to be able to present false evidence to Posthumus that he was seduced. His bride, returning to Italy, Yachimu convinces Posthumus that he has successfully seduced Imogen. In his wrath, Posthumus sends two letters to Britain, one to Imogen telling her to meet him at Milford Haven on the Welsh coast, the other to the servant Pisanio, ordering him to murder Imogen at the haven. However, Pisanio refuses to kill Imogen and reveals to her Posthumus' plot. He has Imogen disguise herself as a boy and continue to Milford Haven to seek employment. He also gives her the queen's poison, believing it will alleviate her psychological distress. In the guise of a boy, Imogen adopts the name Fidel, meaning faithful. Back at Cymbelin's court, Cymbeline refuses to pay his British tribute to the Roman ambassador Cassius Lucius, and Lucius warns Cymbeline of the Roman emperor's forthcoming wrath, which will amount to an invasion of Britain by Roman troops. Meanwhile, Cloten learns of the meeting between Imogen and Posthumus at Milford Haven. Dressing himself eventually in Posthumus' clothes, he decides to go to Wales to kill Posthumus and then rape, abduct, and marry Imogen. Imogen has now been traveling as Fidel through the Welsh mountains. Her health is declining as she comes to a cave, the home of Belarius, along with his sons Polydor and Cadwal, whom he raised into great hunters. These two young men are in fact the British Princess Guiderius and Arviragus, who themselves do not realize their own origin. The men discover Fidel and instantly captivated by a strange affinity for him, become fast friends. Outside the cave, Guiderius is met by Cloten, who throws insults leading to a sword fight during which Guiderius beheads Cloten. Meanwhile, Imogen's fragile state worsens and she takes the poison as a hopeful medicine. When the men re-enter, they find her dead. They mourn and after placing Cloten's body beside hers, briefly depart to prepare for the double burial. Imogen awakes to find the headless body and believes to be Posthumus because the body is wearing Posthumus' clothes. Lucius' Roman soldiers have just arrived in Britain, and as the army moves through Wales, Lucius discovers the devastated Fidel, who pretends to be a loyal servant grieving for his killed master. Lucius, moved by this faithfulness, enlists Fidel as a page boy. The treacherous queen is now wasting away due to the disappearance of her son Cloten. Meanwhile, dispersing of his life, the guilt-ridden Posthumus enlists in the Roman forces as they begin their invasion of Britain. Belarius, Guiderius, Arviragus, and Posthumus all help rescue Cymbeline from the Roman onslaught. The king does not yet recognize these four, yet takes notice of them as they go on the fight bravely and even capture the Roman commanders Lucius and Iachimu, thus winning the lady. Posthumus, allowing himself to be captured as well as Fidel, are imprisoned alongside the two Romans, all of whom await execution. In jail, Posthumus sleeps while the ghosts of his dead family appear to complain to Jupiter of his grim fate. Jupiter himself then appears in thunder and glory to assuage the others that destiny will grant happiness to Posthumus and Britain. Cornelius arrives in the court to announce that the queen has died suddenly and that on her deathbed she unrepentantly confessed to villainous schemes against her husband and his throne. Both troubled and relieved at this news, Cymbeline prepares to execute his new prisoner but pauses when he sees Fidel, whom he finds both beautiful and somehow familiar. Fidel has noticed Posthumous' ring on Yachemo's finger and abruptly demands to know from where the jewels came. A remorseful Yachemo tells of his bet and how he could not seduce Imogen. It tricked Posthumous into thinking he had. Posthumous then comes forward to confirm Yachemo's story, revealing his identity and acknowledging his wrongfulness in desiring Imogen killed. Aesthetic Imogen throws herself at Posthumous, who still takes her for a boy and knocks her down. Pisanio then rushes forward to explain that Fidel is Imogen in disguise. Imogen still suspects that Pisanio conspired with the queen to give her the poison. Pisanio sincerely claims innocence and Cornelius reveals how the poison was non-fatal potion of Elan, insisting that his betrayal years ago was a setup. Belarius makes his own happy confession, revealing Guiderius and Arviragus as Cymbelin's own two long-lost sons, with her brothers restored to their place in the line of inheritance. Imogen is now free to marry Posthumous, and elated Cymbeline pardons Belarius and the Roman prisoners, including Lucius and Iachimo. Lucius calls forth his soothsayer to decipher a prophecy of recent events which ensures happiness for all, blaming his manipulative queen for his refusal to pay earlier. Cymbeline now agrees to pay the tribute to the Roman emperor as a gesture of peace between Britain and Rome, and he invites everyone to a great feast. Friends, in this way, this tragic drama is ended. Thank you for watching. Subscribe this channel to get more and more.